Hello, and welcome to Our Sailor Stories, the podcast from the USS Hornet Sea Air and Space Museum. I am your host, Nicolette Dumais, ready to relay our sailor stories.
Good morning. My name is Bruce Douglas, and I'm a volunteer docent here on the Hornet. Nick asked what brought me to the Hornet. Well, I actually served on the Hornet from late 1968 through decommissioning in 1970. I retired in 2009, and this was tops on my list to be keep an activity to keep me active and keep out of trouble. And then when they decommissioned her, I was assigned to another ship, the USS Ranger, which that was here at Alameda. That's how I ended up here at Alameda. Side story, I met this sweet young thing in a bar in San Francisco, and we're still, it's still history. We're still there. So,
That's so sweet.
so still living in San Francisco and having fun. And this is my activity too. One of the things to give us our space.
One of your passion projects.
Yes,
How
definitely.
often are you here?
I come once a week, come on Mondays and spend the full day and just enjoy meeting the people and showing them around, and I do kind of have a reputation of showing off the ship. A little extra pride, I think. A lot of people are happy to be here, but behind the scenes is not quite the right word. We have a lot of spaces that have been fixed up. They're open for visiting, but you have to have a docent. They're chained off, but they're still fixed up. So I'm glad to always take people up and show some of those. And
What's your favorite place to take people?
I would probably have to say After Gyro. That is on one of the tours, but because I worked in After Gyro, so there's a good connection there. And I'll also after cat it's not after the resting gear room after I kind of like that. That it's sort of related more to the work I did after I got out of the Navy, like the hydraulics of that. So it's fun to take people up through there also. I guess I should tell you what I did.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what was your official title?
I was an interior communications electrician. We took care of anything that was communicated within the ship, not radar or radio, but anything within the ship. So intercoms, telephones, and paging systems are the most obvious. So the telephone was down there in Central Station and the switchboard and all of that. We also took care of the ship steering because it was communicated electrically from the helm to the rudder. And pretty much any indicator on the ship, speed, wind direction, we took care of all that because the anemometer is up the highest point on the mast for wind speed and direction, but there's repeaters, indicators throughout the ship. The ship's speed, it's called a pit sword, that went off the very bottom of the ship.
You've taken me down there a couple times.
We have a pretty good video of that.
I remember you mentioned you took a couple of weeks of film reel school so that you could operate the films on the ship. Could you tell me about movie nights?
I did have some college when I joined the Navy, so they promised me schooling. I actually got a couple of months of basic electricity and electronics, a month of interior communication school, and 1 week of motion picture projection school. It's hard to believe that, we spent one week learning how to operate movies. This is way back, this is in the 70s and 80s. And we would use two projectors and set two of them up. I'm going to ruin watching black and white movies for everybody. I love to tell this story. If you're ever watching a black and white movie, you'll see three little flashes of black dots up in the upper right-hand corner. That's telling you that reel's coming to the end and get ready to switch the projector onto the next reel.
And so you have to do that quickly, so it
It's
just
coordinated, smoothly, yeah. So we would set up both projectors ready to go, and they were always was 3 films. Another fun part of the job was whenever we're doing underway replenishments, resupplying with another ship. The first line that went across was called the phone and distance line. It was a marker. It had flags on it. It would let the captains know how far apart the ships were, but it also had sound-powered phone communications. And after they shot that line across, we would have to test that. And the test message was, "What are your new movies?" Every time. So that's how we made sure that line was working, and we got the best movies we could. So it was a good fun job, and I ended up with a couple of good careers out of the education I got from that and experience I got from that too. So enjoying my Mondays here on the ship.
Yeah. What do you do besides hanging out here at the Hornet now? Do you have any other hobbies too?
Grandchildren.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But my wife and I we love to travel. We've traveled quite a bit, and we'll still go, take 3-day weekends here and there.
In your time here as a volunteer, has there been a specific event or a guest who has stuck out to you, or anything that you remember fondly the Hornet doing?
Um, Probably not. It was probably more fun at the time than repeating it. I was up on the flight deck one day, and a guest came along, and he mentioned that he'd been on the Hornet, and I said, "Oh, that's amazing! I was on board for Apollos 11 and 12. What did you do?" And he looked at me and said, "I was a swimmer." So I'm trying to think of all the old gags. They send you out for 100 feet of water line, or the bowling alley on an aircraft carrier. They always send you for bowling alley. So my mind's going swimmer, swimmer, swimmer. He was one of the underwater demolition team, the UDTs, that was on board for Apollo 11, to bring the astronauts aboard. So he was the medic. So it was kind of fun to meet up with him. He and I exchanged pictures and stories like that because. And I do one of my pictures. I have a picture of him from. He knew what he was wearing, and it's a picture like for him from the shoulder down. So I sent him that picture.
So you guys could have been on the same ships or serving the same time and never have met each other.
Easily, yes. I mean, this was a city of 3,200 people. They say sailors knew where they slept, where they worked, and where they ate. You'd get up in the morning, shower and shave, go to the chow hall for breakfast, and go where you worked. And then, as I mentioned, we hung out in after gyro after work. So most sailors kind of fell into a routine like that. And if I had my test telephone in my hand, I did get quite a bit of freedom. Some of those, not totally secret areas, but some of those, what's the expression, on an as needed basis. Well, the telephone gave me a little more as needed basis than just walking by. Then I did, actually, that got me up onto the island when for Apollo 11, President Nixon flew aboard, and we were told to stay below the hangar deck, unless we had any business. And I was up on the island on the catwalk when President Nixon's helicopter landed. I had my test telephone. Nobody questioned me what I was doing up there. That 4th of July interview that Channel 2 did, we spent about 4 hours on the ship, and they edited it down to 15 minutes.
Wow.
But the editing that as we've said before, the ship's not built for tours, right? Everything's out of order. So we were walking along, and the number 2 elevator was running, so they got a ride on the elevator. So now we're just kind of working our way around mishmash, and they took that 3 or 4 hours and put it into a consecutive, I think, very good video. And I know it's about me, but it would have been with anybody. It would have been a really good video.
Wow. Thank you for talking with me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, it's a little self-serving but that's it was fun doing it, and I think I was impressed. I've enjoyed your videos also, the way you've edited those and stuff too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun getting to talk with everybody and to invite new people onto the ship to see it and also get to talk to everybody. So
Yeah.
I think the stories here definitely deserve to be heard.